String Split Method Example by Gilmer, Georgia College and State University.
Hi, I'm Karen. I created this video for Georgia College and State University. This video is a brief overview of the string split method. We'll focus on a specific problem where we ask the user to enter a series of numbers separated by a comma. We'll then use the split method to return the sum of these integers.
Split method delimiters. Review. When using the split method, a delimiter is a string that you specify that tells the program when to split your string. An example, we have a string tokens equals str.split with a space in quotations. The space in quotations is the delimiter, so the string is split each time a space is encountered. What if your string was a list of numbers as shown below? String str equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do you know what the delimiter would be for this string? The delimiter would be a comma. String tokens equals str.split with a comma as the delimiter. So let's look at some other useful delimiters. What if your string was a list of numbers that was formatted differently? String str 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Can you tell the difference between this string and our previous string? Our previous string str 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These numbers are separated by a space and a comma. So what would the delimiter be for this string? String tokens equals str.split, a comma, and then a space. The split method uses a comma and then a space to separate the numbers. Notice that you always need to declare a string array to hold the tokens from your split method. Although the elements of str could be considered integers once split, an array of strings is still needed to hold these items. Changing this to int would be invalid and would result in compilation errors. You could later parse the values of tokens into an integer array in a for loop. Here we have our example code where we ask the user to enter a series of numbers separated by commas. I first import my scanner class, declare my class public class example. Next I have my main method. I create my scanner object, scanner keyboard. Then I ask the user enter a series of numbers. I store this string in a string str variable by saying keyboard.nextLine. I then split my string into my string array named tokens by using only a comma as the delimiter. Since my goal for this program is to add up all the integers that the user has entered, I go ahead and declare an int variable named sum and set it equal to 0. Next, I have the advanced for loop where I have string s tokens. This array iterates once for every token in the tokens array. Each element is temporarily stored in a string variable s. Inside our for loop, we take our int sum and add to it integer.parseInt s. What this does is it takes the s string, parses it to an int so that it can be added to our sum. Once the for loop has completed, we should have our total sum and then simply print out system.out.println sum. So let's compile our code. I'll run it. And this code, since we use just a comma as the delimiter, expects us to enter numbers separated by only a comma. So here I've entered 10, 20, and 30. Press enter, and it prints out the sum, 10 plus 20 plus 30 equals 60. So that's correct. Now if I run it again, and I enter numbers separated by a comma and a space, what's going to happen? It gives me a lot of errors. These errors originate because when we try to parse this string into an int, the number looks like 20 with a space in front of it. So you say, okay, well, I'll separate this by a comma and then a space. So I'll compile that, run it. Now when I enter 10, comma, space, 20, comma, space, 30, that calculates correctly. But what if the user then enters 10, 20, 30 with no spaces? It gives us compilation errors again. So what could we do that allows the user to enter their numbers in both formats, with or without spaces? The way to handle this would be to split the string with just a comma, and then when we try to parse our integer, we use the s.trim method. The trim method is a method from the string class, and since s is a string, we can use the trim method with it. What it does is it removes any leading or trailing white space. So once the leading and or trailing white space is removed, our s is only going to be the number 10, 20, or 30. No white space, no spaces. If this is the case, then s is a string that can easily be parsed to an int and added to the sum. So those are the only changes that we made. We split it by only a comma and made sure that we trimmed the white space off. Let's compile it now. We'll run it. I'll first enter my 10, 20, 30. It gives me 60. I'll run it again. 10, space, 20, 30. It gives me 60 as well.
I hope this video has helped you better understand how you can use the string split method in your own code. Good luck!